Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's August 3rd, 2016. More Zika fear-mongering in the headlines today. I want to expose again how this propaganda regarding the Zika virus is placed in mainstream media by the numbers. To begin, I want to go back to the New Year's Day headlines first introducing Zika. This is January 1st, 2016, the front page of CNN's website. I documented this. I thought it was very interesting that they were introducing this new mosquito-borne virus to begin the new year. In the original reporting of the article, they talk about how Zika was discovered in 1947. 47 is a very special number to the Zionists and Freemasons who control media, who control government, who stage propaganda by the numbers. If you're new to my channel, I am exposing how the people who run the media truly create fictional stories that are fear-based to control the masses, and they pump these stories to the masses through the media which they control. So Zika has gematria 47, discovered in the year 47. 47 is a number in Freemasonry connected to something called Euclid's 47th problem, which is about establishing foundation. And in a lot of these stories that are made to provoke fear, anxiety, the number 47 is coded within because it's a foundational number. And this right here is the building of something that's growing each day in terms of the amount of scaring it's doing in this world. So January 1st, 2016, that was a date with 38 numerology. 38 numerology, 1 plus 1 plus 20 plus 16. The word death has gematria of 38. Today's Zika headlines come on August 3rd, a date that's written 3/8 in most parts of the world, a lot like 38. Plus today's date has 47 numerology. 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 20 is 31, plus 16 is 47. So here we are with 38 and 47, again coded within the date, and we're getting more Zika fear-mongering. The first day of this headlines, the subheadline they coded the number 239 in. The United States of America was 239 years old at the time. It turned 240 this July 4th. In the history of this nation, there were 239 biological weapons tests used by the U.S. military against their own people. The first of those 239 tests was conducted from the Bay of San Francisco. A Navy ship by the Golden Gate Bridge sprayed in a small dosage of chemical contaminant to test how it would impact the people. All 239 of these tests that were done over 2 decades' time were said to be done in non-lethal, non-harmful doses. So they were safe military tests. And this knowledge was just revealed a little more than a year ago. Classified documents unleashed to the public. What's interesting about the first of the 239 tests beginning at the Golden Gate Bridge is that Golden Gate in Jewish gematria sums to 239. Torah in Jewish gematria sums to 239. In the Torah, in the Jewish belief system, their Messiah will arrive through the Golden Gate. This is a spiritual number to them. And it is the very sick Zionist banker tyrant Jews who run our government, who run our media, do all of their madness by the numbers. And these are also people who think people who aren't Jewish are less than them. So spraying a nation of Goy, no big deal. But it shows they don't even respect their own, because there are Jewish people within these populations, that have these tests done to them. Look this stuff up. The articles are out there. I've done videos on all this, so I'm just re-jogging people's minds on what's been done. And with regards to this Zika virus, who's even to say that if we know if there is a real Zika virus? Perhaps they're saying Zika is the consequences of one of these earlier tests, or a test that's going on right now that we don't know about that hasn't been, released from some currently classified documents. So anyway, today, August 3rd, 2016, headlines: 33 U.S. service members have contracted Zika, Pentagon says. So this comes from the Military War Department. What it reminds of is that Field Manual 33 1-1 for the U.S. Army, that is pertaining to the Psychological Operations Program. And if you read about it, it's creating propaganda to control the minds of the masses for strategic purposes. And the United States is a military empire that keeps its people under control with fear. You know, a lot of people, they just expect the government to solve all these fears for them, from Islamic boogeymen that are created by this media to disease and illness. And as we'll see when we watch the news coverage, they're saying they don't have a cure, they don't have a vaccine for Zika yet, so the best thing you can do is go out and buy chemical sprays to protect yourself. The chemical sprays are owned by the petrochemical companies that make the biggest profits off of war. So all of this is intertwined. We live in a war empire, we live in a banker tyrant empire, and it all runs on fear and consumerism. Fear sells. By the end of today, some places have upped the number from 33 to 41. CNN was reporting 33 this morning. Now they're saying it's 41. We'll talk about the significance of both of these numbers. New York Times this morning, August 3rd, 33 U.S. service members have contracted Zika. CNN went from 33 to 41. Both stories coming today, August 3rd, again the date with 47 numerology, like the gematria of Zika. Zika equals 47. Discovered in the year 47. Again, the number 33 is coded to psychological operations. In this case, it also makes a bit of sense to code 33 because America's, the plural, has gematria of 33. This is something that originated in South America and has now spread to North America, the Americas. And these headlines come 2 days before the start of the Olympics, August 5th, in Brazil, where the Zika outbreak began. Let me show you something about the outbreak real quick. Zika virus in Pythagorean gematria sums to 46. 46, a number connected to sacrifice. When Brazil was first reporting their deaths, supposedly, when it first started, the first numbers they reported were 46 have died from Zika virus, and Zika virus sums to 46. Just in case you're new here, let me establish what the small way and the big way is. English reduction is where you take each letter in the alphabet and shrink it to a single letter. So Zika virus in this method sums to 46. Z is the 26th letter. In the reduction method, which we're looking at, Z isn't worth 26, it's worth 2 plus 6 equals 8. You make each letter a single digit, like in numerology, and then you add. Zika alone in simple English gematria is 47. That's because Z is 26, I is 9, K is 11, A is 1. Add it together, 47. And as I continue to expose, all of this reporting about Zika is by the numbers. It was February 2nd, the 33rd day of the year, that they said Zika could be sexually transmitted, giving everybody right away deja vu of HIV and AIDS. AIDS sums to 33. The entire story about the original discovery of AIDS is centered around 33. A 33-year-old doctor, a patient named Michael, and so much more. When they were doing the Ebola fear-mongering, they were constantly coding 33 again and again. So today's numbers are 33 and 41. Take a peek at this CNN reporting. 41 here, and they mention how even earlier in the day, the number stood at 33. What happens when you add 41 and 33 together? You get 74. 74, the reflection of 47. Masonic equals 74. Jewish equals 74. Special number to the United States of America, which began July 4th. It's Independence Day. 7/4. Independence Day in gematria sums to 74. So does holiday. Fitting that we get a Hilton commercial up on the screen. Who wants to guess what Hilton equals? I'll show you right here. Hilton out of Norway, another Masonic nation. Remember the day of September 11th when the buildings that existed for 33 years fell to the ground? They were interviewing people. at the nearby Hilton in the morning. Anyway, let's close out here by watching the mainstream coverage. Actually, before we watch the mainstream coverage, one more point I have to make about the reporting today, 33 and 41. Maybe I said it already, but USA has a gematria of 41. 41 service members for the USA now have Zika by the numbers. 41, the 13th prime number. The nation began with 13 colonies. We'll close out here with the mainstream reporting. Notice they have a minute 42 up here, a number connected to terrorism. The word terrorist itself has gematria of 142. The original definition of terrorism is government by intimidation. That's what this is. That's why the news preaches fear every day. Here we go.
Zika, a virus unheard of 70 years ago, is exploding around the planet, creating what the World Health Organization calls a global health emergency.
And you know, it's just so overstated. 41 people in the military. I mean, is that really an emergency? They've been hyping it this way since New Year's Day, with low numbers.
Symptoms include fever, rash, headaches, and red eyes.
And for the record, those were all the symptoms of Ebola too, when they were trying to scare everybody with Ebola.
If there are any symptoms at all.
If there are any symptoms at all. And not to mention, I mean, those are things that people commonly get from allergies, from bug bites.
4 out of 5 people who get Zika don't even know it. Zika is spread primarily by the female Aedes aegypti mosquito. She's called the roach of the mosquito world due to her crafty ways of hiding and breeding inside homes, making her hard to find and eliminate. Zika's also been linked to Guillain-Barré, a rare autoimmune disorder that can lead to paralysis. But what makes Zika really scary is an alarming connection between the virus and microcephaly. That's a neurological disorder where babies are born with small heads and small brains, with severe development.
And with all the things that they do to our food, all the chemicals within our food, the chemicals they're spraying in the sky, you know, who's to say that Zika isn't a cover-up excuse for other tampering going on in this world?
Mental issues, even death. Some countries are so concerned, they are warning women not to get pregnant. While in the United States, CDC officials are telling pregnant women not to travel to any of the countries where Zika is circulating. Because it is possible Zika can hide in semen and be transmitted by sex.
Hold on, I want to go back, Truth Seeker. Let's see where they showed.
Officials are telling pregnant women
It looked like there was a sliver in Africa. Look at that. Always picking on Africa. Pay attention to how they continue with this reporting as summer goes on, as time goes on. I hadn't heard any mention of Africa before just now, and they didn't even bring it up, but you see it right there on the map, the little sliver.
It's where Zika is circulating. Because it is possible Zika can hide in semen and be transmitted by sex, the CDC is asking men exposed to Zika to use condoms to protect unborn fetuses. Scientists are working around the clock to attack the virus, but as of yet, there's no vaccine or medicine to treat Zika. So protect yourself by using and reapplying insect repellent, wearing thick, long-sleeve shirts.
Petrochemical. And I'm sure if they decide to take this further, they'll also roll out the vaccine, you know, the pharmaceuticals. This is where all the money's at. Petrochemical, medicine, big pharma.
And pants, and staying inside in screened air-conditioned rooms in areas where Zika is active. And be sure to remove any standing water where mosquitoes can breed.
All right, Truth Seeker. I think that wraps it up. Don't be afraid. Until next time.